Now, if we accept the conclusion following Socrates that life, an unexamined life, is not worth living, then it follows clearly that it is everyone's personal obligation and duty to start thinking philosophically, that is, on the philosophical level. And of course, depending on the subject, we have different forms of different rather areas of philosophy. Metaphysics deals with the theory of reality and the ultimate nature of all things. Part of metaphysics also is sometimes called ontology, the different kinds of beings. Ethics, study of good and bad, right and wrong in human actions. For humans, it's one of the most crucial areas of study. Because, as we mentioned already, life is a string of decisions and intentions and actions. And it is of great value and great importance whether those actions are morally justified, good, or destructive, disruptive, and evil. Therefore, ethics is a very crucial part of philosophy. Epistemology, the next area, studies the nature, scope, and possibilities of human knowing. Human knowledge, of course, is essential because philosophy is knowing. It has always based on the fact of knowledge. Logic is the art of correct thinking. And then we have philosophy of religion, studying the nature of the divine, the arguments for or against God's existence, and so-called pros and cons, very vital area, because depending on answering the question, human life is completely, radically different, takes a completely different meaning and sense. If God doesn't exist, life really finally amounts to not much. It's only a temporary transition after birth into a form of nothingness. And depending on the area, again, we have political, philosophy, aesthetics, and so on. In order to have results in my thinking, I have to be able to first clearly formulate my questions. Therefore, I have to define my concepts. Articulation is the first step here. In order to know what I'm talking about, I must first clearly define my words, my ideas, and my concepts. The second step is analysis, a sort of mental putting apart the content of some ideas. And finally, after this comes step Step 3, synthesis, a unification of my thinking, my results, into a unified vision of reality. The obstacles to honest philosophical thinking can be defined clearly in the following way. First, the sitting in superficiality. In other words, not to be very curious about the fundamentals of human existence. A mediocre level of existence at the purely almost animal level, and the risk of possibility of being a failure not only in this life but even for eternity. Lack of curiosity, mental laziness, hate of logical thinking, following the herd of the many, fear of being criticized or rejected by many, and distractions of everyday living, inability to concentrate, and constant busyness with the hours and days of my life. As mentioned already, thinking is by no means easy. It requires self-discipline, lots of time, ability to concentrate, and, first of all, a firm, passionate decision to discover the real, the true, and the final reality must be present. Otherwise, it will not be a philosophical, really, search. It will be simply a sort of adventure rather, but not deep insight about man's nature, meaning of human life, and the final destiny of man.